Well, hello there, everyone. It is September 12th, 2022, and let's talk about soccer. Let's talk about programming. I'm actually excited. I'm really excited to do this video. I have never, ever built anything as extensively and as connected for multiple leagues within like the same sport like we're doing for soccer. I've never done this before, and now it's kind of ready to start testing out. And I want to explain what has happened. You're looking at a master soccer picks file. This soccer picks file is talking to all the individual algorithms for all the individual leagues, like Champions League, like Bundesliga, like Serie A, like English Premier League, like Liga MX from Mexico, like La Liga for the Italians, like I think it's not Spanish. La Liga is Spanish. Ligue 1 for the French, Ligue 1, and MLS for Major League Soccer. And I think I'm missing Siri. No, I think I got them all. So it's talking to all of them. All right. And it's giving you a schedule and stuff for the day. For example, today it went 2-0 today. And the point projections are now done differently. What did I do? I did the work that I said I was going to do. I went through and connected all of the algorithms. Okay. Watch this craziness. Watch this. I went through and I tested out every single variable and what it would have done historically predicting all the games. What am I talking about? I'll tell you what I'm talking about. First of all, let's freeze these percentages because these percentages had a great day today. These are the percentages of how we apply weights in this algorithm and the sort of regression testing that we're doing. Let's make them all 0.001 for a second. Okay. Watch what happens. We're making them all basically insignificant, and we're going to have the algorithm essentially run the predictions with no direction whatsoever for today's game. So right now, today's games were, Osuna. This was a La Liga game. We thought with the other percentages that I researched, and I'll tell you how I researched them in a few minutes, but they predicted a game that was 1-1 and ended up being 1-0. And this one was 2-0 and ended up being 2-1. So it did a great job. Watch what happens when we refresh. Everything changes. Everything changes. Completely different. Everything changes. And that goes for the entire history of all the games we have recorded in here. So what has happened is this thing has become this crazy, like you can check over and run scenarios of what the proper variables and how you should weight them in all of these categories, which according to the work I did was this. It was this percentage here. And I'll explain how I got there. I just paste those percentages back in, right? All the files are open with all the algorithms. So when I go back to the pivot here and refresh, it goes from 66. We were 66 and 50 with 34 draws overall at 57% win percentage when we weren't directing the algorithm at all with any proper weights, just saying 0.01 for everything. Now with the weights I just said, it goes 72% win historically. All right. This thing is so unbelievable. What I did is I connected the player stat percentages, okay, and the team stat percentages. That's these things up here in each one of the team stat percentages. I connected them to that main file. So now anytime we change this here in the variable sheet, anytime we change a percentage or want to mess with something or run a sample, you just type it in here. And if you have all the files open like we have right now, then every prediction changes. And instead of, these are the scores now, right? So it is fascinating. It's fascinating. And let's talk about the variable percentages and what's so interesting about this. So in order to figure out what was good and what was an important factor to go over, I ran a sample by saying like something like this. I wouldn't get rid of all of them really, but I would type, you know, I would type negative 100% here because yellow cards are supposed to be a negative factor. And then I would refresh and run everything and see how many games won. That's what the win percentage is right here. And how many of the draws, when it predicted draws by score, how many of those hit. That's what I did all the way down. Okay. And that's why you have this heat map of what was good and what was bad. That's what's so interesting. So, for example, were goals a good predictor of whether or not the algorithm worked when we used goals scored by teams as a variable? The answer was yeah, it did pretty well. It was 69%. Assists were even better. Okay. But what was the best one? Best one was actually goals inside the box. And also shots on goal inside the box is actually really good. Look at how good shots on goal inside the box was at determining projected scores for draws. How about that? 31% draws is actually really good. If you can get over 33% draws, you're going to be making money every time it says pick a draw, right? So this thing is a beast. This thing is unbelievable. The player stats are mimicking what you see in the team stats and automatically changing the rostered players' percentages. There's a lot. I'm talking really a lot about a lot of crazy stuff. So let me just dumb it down and back up for a second because it's just so incredible that I feel I had to do a video. I'm like, guys, this is the most incredible thing I've ever built for something like this. So let's talk about, for example, the next set of games. Okay. There's only one league. It's the Champions League that's going on tomorrow. No, sorry, there's more than that. There's a Liga MX game and there's an MLS games. These are all the games projected for the 13th. What does it say? And what is this giving us? Okay. First of all, it thinks there's going to be 5 draws. It thinks this is going to be a 1-1 draw between Guadalajara and Tigres UANL. Thinks it's going to be a Tottenham Hotspur Sporting CP 1-1 draw. Thinks a 0-0 draw between Eintracht Frankfurt and Marseille in Champions, but the Champions League predictions are really screwed up because there's only one game of stats contributing to them. So I'm actually going to say the Champions League stuff is fun to look at, but don't use it to bet because it doesn't have enough. So make me want to remove champions from here. So just these other games, there's a bunch of MLS playoff games. Those look like something good to play, right? Well, here you have Montreal supposed to crush the Fire. Fire also, for some reason, only have 9 players contributing to their roster. That's what this lineup count means. So you want this number to be 11. When it's not 11, something's weird or wrong. Like we're including an injured player or a bench player, or we're not including people for some reason because they're day-to-day and may not be playing. There's a lot of reasons this can happen. We are adjusting automatically for this, but it's still a bad number. You want to get this number at 11. So, but that being said, Montreal is apparently a good pick. LA Football Club over Minnesota, huge there. That's a good pick. Picks a draw down here between the Revolution and the Dynamo at 2-2. Sporting Kansas City over DC United, it thinks. And this game a little closer, but does like the underdog of Columbus Crew. So this is now, as we do this every day, and I record this every day, the next steps are every single day I'll run this when there are enough games, and I'll go back and I'll have a macro that or if it's not a macro, I'll just do it myself. I'll rerun all the big stats we like and see if anything changed so that we can change our distribution around to get it even better. What's going on here? Why do we have an error? Oh yeah, because this actually doesn't work for goalies. I removed the goalies completely from the calculation because it just seemed pointless. Like everything's a team stat in soccer, it seems like, other than players, obviously, but goalies, it didn't seem to matter. And I know what to do with them. But all right, guys, I just want to let everybody know this thing's out of control. I'm not selling it because it's a working thing in progress, and I don't know how to even release it in its form because it takes a tremendous amount of updating, and you have to do weird things like keep all these files open. I also need to discuss how you update each one of these files because it's about a 5-step process that involves updating team stats, pasting them in, updating player stats, pasting them in, updating a new injury report, pasting it in, updating the lineups here and then going through and finding out players and what their matrix names are. That's the annoying part of this, but it's important to get the roster straight because they're involved in the projections, the players that are actually playing. And then you paste in the odds and then you're done. And that's how you do it. It takes me about 15 minutes each one, depending on how many players are coming in and their names are coming in. But once that starts getting taken care of, it seems to be going a lot faster. So, guys, crazy stuff. You're going to see more soccer videos, and there's a lot of soccer going on. And any more leagues that RotoWire has that are in this format, with the player stat in this format, if they have those and they have the lineups, if they have both of those things, I think I went through all the ones that they have, but if they have any other leagues that have that information, we can add a new algorithm for them and connect them to this thing. And you can just keep adding and adding and adding. This is incredible, incredible for regression testing. And I suspect we will find the magical percentages of what's relevant here and what isn't. And there's going to be some ones that are negative that we need to do. Like when they're a bad predictor, we want to potentially put a negative attribute to them as well. So there's I don't know why Ariel's one is a negative, but whatever. Lots to talk about. All right, guys. So good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning. And I mean, I'm just really excited to see how this thing pans out. And now we have a plan of attack, essentially, of how to judge this, because I can't make the algorithms great on my own. I'm no special than more special than anyone else when it comes to this. However, I know how to program it in so that the stats determine what these percentages are. You can see the heat map is showing you where to put stuff. You know, blocked cross is a huge determinant in draws. What a weird stat that may somehow infer defensive ability or something like that. I have no idea. It's just amazing stuff that we're going to find as we test this every day, or at least after every weekend. I think is a good thing to do, to test it with the final stats from that weekend as well, and kind of backfill it, see how it works. So anyway, guys, amazing stuff. Good luck, everyone. May all your footballs be scoring, and and your picks be winning.